Welcome back to another episode of Your Bookshelf Besties. My name's Ashley,
And I'm Brandy.
and today we're going to be doing our October wrap up. All right,
Yeah.
you want to start?
I will go ahead and start. I read 11 books this month. I'll start with the physical books that I had. Of course, I had One Dark Window. This was a 5 out of 5 for me. If you have not read it yet and you're a fantasy lover and love romance, this is an amazing book for that. It was very unique and had some really great banter. And obviously, she's got a monster stuck in her head that is talking to her all the time. So, definitely could not put this one down. And I'm so excited to read the second one.
I was going to ask if you started the second one yet.
Not yet. I'm slowly getting to it. I've got a lot going on.
I think that's why I've put that one off because I'm like, I can't.
You want to read them together?
Yeah.
I know. I still need to read Foxglove for Belladonna, so
Yeah.
I feel a little thinned out with that. Okay. And then I also read Not So Perfect Strangers. I gave this one about 3.5 out of 5. This one, right from the beginning that one of the main characters is just nuts. Like she's just insane. And I don't think I necessarily like that. It's like abrasive, that someone's crazy. I like to be completely confused and not know which direction things are going in, but I kind of knew what was going on the whole time. There's a little twist at the ending, so I mean it wasn't terrible, but I feel like it could have been a little better. And then we have Hunted by Darcy Coates. I gave this one again about another 3.5 out of 5. It was a thriller, but it does have like an aspect that you think that maybe for a second that there's actually like a monster that's hunting these kids in the woods down. So it was really good, but there's some parts that I'm just like, it was dragging on so much. We needed like
it looks like a big book.
Yeah, we needed like 200 pages less and a lot less of like the same scenes, the repetition of running through the woods, a different person running through the woods. They had really good like eerie, creepy factor, but not enough or just too much of the extra stuff. It was taking away from the eeriness when you're like, okay,
Like I
we're
get
running.
it.
Yes.
I get it.
Yeah.
I don't like books like that where it's like the same thing over and over again. Like you said, it's like you could have taken out half
There
the
was
book.
like some good creepy parts, but I'm just like, okay, well, now I know something creepy is gonna happen when we're running, and I'm gonna be over it. But anyways, so this one was good. I mean, if you're into like forest stuff and monsters, maybe check it out. I don't know. And then I had also The Chain, another thriller. This one I was pretty disappointed in because I heard a lot about it on TikTok. I don't know. Had you heard about this one before?
I haven't heard about that book, but then when I heard you talk about that book, I was like, it sounds like it would be really good. Right.
So I'm like, in theory, having to kidnap another kid to save your own kidnapped kid, I mean, how do you not have the most wild book possible? I'm like, the ending just didn't hit for me. I don't think the author went about this the right way. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but yeah, I was really upset about that one. And then this one was actually a surprise treat. This Ghost Written. I've never read anything by this author before, Ronald Malfi, but it's basically 4 novellas about like cursed books.
Okay.
So it was really fun. It was really, really fun. And I feel like my only complaint with it was that I would have liked to have seen more like death and darkness, like all of them ending kind of more deadly, I guess. But I will say that I feel like with the progression of the 4 stories, that they did get more like sinister.
Did the stories like interlock at all?
There's parts that they did, but
like Easter eggs,
like little Easter eggs. But I think it was just for fun because I don't think that they really like had anything to do with the story.
Yeah.
But I will say that I think that each story did get a little bit more dark. But I mean, I thought it was so creative, the idea of so many different stories about books. Like this author, I'm like, I don't know how your brain works, but that's pretty wild because I was actually really creeped out after the last story of it. So I really enjoyed this one. This was a very nice surprise treat.
Did you read that pretty quick?
Yeah, I read it in about like a day and a half.
I was gonna say because you started it like yesterday, day before.
The evening before yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, and I finished it by last night. So this was honestly pretty good.
Yeah.
It was a nice treat. I love that.
Yeah.
And then now I have to switch over to my Goodreads to see which ones I read on
To your Kindles.
my Kindles. Yep. So I also read The Unfortunate Side Effects of Heartbreak and Magic. I gave that one a 3.5 out of 5. This one I really loved because of the familial ties that the main character has with like her family. It's just a whole bunch of witchy women who are really close and family keeps them grounded. But I will say that I wasn't a huge fan of like her love relationship or like kind of what that whole thing was going on there. So
I was wondering if that one was good. I kept seeing it on my
it's
Kindle.
one of the better ones of the witchy
Okay.
ones I've read because no matter what, I will keep reading my witchy reads even though they suck generally. I mean, I really try. I'm really trying to find the really good ones. But yeah, so if you're also on a journey for a witchy read, maybe try that one. It's one of the better ones than others that I've read. Also, Final Girls by Riley Sager. I think I told you about that one,
Yeah.
right? So I gave that 4 out of 5. Now that I think about it, maybe it'd be closer to like a 3.5 out of 5. But some parts were a little bit like slower, and you were just kind of like, okay, we have a lot of stuff hanging over us. Like, let's start getting towards that. But the twist was pretty good. I will say that do you ever read a thriller and you're just like, I either really like this a lot or I don't like it. Like you can't really tell because you're like about the ending. You're just like, I mean, that's either really good or really bad.
Yeah.
So
I feel like there's no in between on thrillers.
I know. I'm like, so I felt like that, but I'm thinking that it was that I really liked it.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I'm going with. Now, Rouge by Mona. Oh God, Awad. She's the one that wrote Bunny.
Yeah, I haven't read Bunny.
I haven't read Bunny either. I don't think I will. But here's the thing. So I gave it like 2.5, 3 stars out of 5. But it's not anything against like it was a bad book. I genuinely believe that this is the type of book that is not for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't wrap my head around certain things, and this book is one of them. It's like too eclectic, it's too existential, it's too all these things to me where I was just like rereading and I was like, am I dumb? Am I the problem? You know what I mean? So that I could see how potentially people whose brains work differently than mine could be like, oh my God, that was like genius, pure genius. Where for me, I was like, nah, I don't think I can do that. So that was that. And then I read A House with Good Bones by T. Kingfisher. I love her. I read something by her like every month.
I know,
lately.
you tell me to read stuff by her too.
Yeah, so this book I gave 3 out of 5. It was a little slow, but the story was so good. She comes up with very unique stories. So I'm probably going to just make it a personal mission to read every one of her books. So what
made you rate it a 3 then, if the story was really good?
So the story is good, but it's just really slow at some parts where you're just kind of like, again, you probably could have made it a lot shorter. And
was it long?
It wasn't.
You're like, it was actually a 100-page novella.
No, it was probably like 300 pages.
Okay, so it could have been a novella.
Yeah, it could have been a novella because it's really like a haunted house that's haunted by like a grandma, you know, so the story is really cool there. But for some reason, I was just like losing interest often, you know, and then just to be like sucked in for like 10 minutes of reading and I was like, oh, that's cool. Then I was like, oh God, where did we go?
You're like skim.
Yeah. Yep. So then after that, The September House. Now this one is one TikTok rec that I will actually forever be so thankful for because a lot of those are duds, but this one I am absolutely obsessed with. I might even buy a copy of it.
Was it on KU?
No. I had to wait on Libby.
But okay.
This one I actually might like bite the bullet and just get the copy of the book too because I'm like, this is a book that I could see myself reading like annually.
Did you give it a 5?
I did. I actually did give it a 5-star.
Okay, I might have to add to my TBR because your 5 stars very rarely go out.
I know, but it's because it encompasses a lot that I have because you know how I really like to feel like a lot of emotions. Well, this one like had me cry unsuspectedly because I was seriously just expecting like a haunted house story with lots of ghosts and, you know, sinister evil in the house, but it was so much more than that. And I'll just leave it at that because I feel like part of the surprise in that was what really caught me off guard. I kind of already told you a little bit of it.
Yeah.
And I didn't know about that. So when I was reading this, I was like, what am I reading? Like, how did we get here?
It sounds really interesting, to be fair, though.
was really good. Yeah, it was really good. And then I read Blood Orange for our book club.
I also read Blood Orange.
And I was telling Ashley, I was like, I really liked the story. I feel like if it was just written by a different author, which how many times is that the case of like such a good idea?
Yep.
You know, if it only had been written by someone completely different. But I really loved the story of, you know, the Dracula and the reincarnation of his lover. That is so unique to me. I love that. But I just was not there for their romance because I'm like, it's a good thing that the plot is supposed to be she's reincarnated because you guys don't talk at all.
What did you give that book?
I gave it a 2 out of 5.
Okay, I also gave that book a 2 out of 5. And I'm not gonna lie, I skimmed the out of that book.
Yeah.
I could not get into it, and I'll just pop in with my 2 cents so I don't have to do it in my wrap up. But I felt like a 300-year-old man does not talk the way that man talked.
He sounded like a millennial, right?
Yes!
Like he just was real quickly able to get rid of the old days.
Oh my gosh.
I thought I was expecting someone more like mature and seductive, like not some like I don't know how to explain it. Some like new aged man.
That obviously we could both go on a tangent about this book because we both read it, but
and we already had like our tangent on it at book club.
But we won't like go into too much detail. But I do think that like this is not a book I would ever recommend, and I'll make a separate TikTok on it. But I just felt like a 300-year-old man is not going to talk this way. I felt like the author tried to get away with like, I don't want to say like similes or metaphors, but like so many of her like phrases she was using were so off the wall.
Makes sense.
None of it made sense.
They didn't hit at all because you're just like, well, some of the things you were sending me, I was like, they must have just been awful because I just didn't even. I skimmed right over them.
I highlighted like a bunch of parts because I was like, not even because they were good, because I was like, this is so weird. But yeah. Anyways, we'll let you go back to your thing.
That's all I had.
That was it. Blood Orange. Okay. So I also read Blood Orange. I read 15 books and I DNF'd 1, so I would have been at 16, but I forgot to bring my DNF book down here because it's actually upstairs on my bedside table where it's been for the last 6 weeks. Which that one was the Final Girl support group.
Oh, you DNF'd that one after all?
Yeah, I'm like 50% in, and you just
can't do it.
I just can't do it.
Yeah.
So I just kind of put it down.
That's by I read a lot of other Grady books. Hendrix, right?
Yeah.
I feel like very iffy about him. Like sometimes I like really like his ideas, but then other times I'm like, am I dumb?
I feel like it had such good potential, but yeah. So then the first book that I did finish for the month was the London Seance Society. I gave this a 3.5. I think I gave it a 4 on my Goodreads, but I would say it's probably closer to a 3.5 as I go back and think about it. I really hate that Goodreads you can't do like 0.5. So in my head, I'm like, I either have to round up or round down.
Yeah.
So I think it's about a 3.5. I thought it was good. I really liked Sarah Penner. I liked The Lost Apothecary, which I noticed a lot of people don't like that book.
I told you. I was like,
I saw so much hate on TikTok, and I was like, I loved this book.
It's Caroline. She ruined it.
So this one is just about a girl whose sister has died, and she kind of joins like a seance society to try and figure out, you know, how her sister died essentially. And it takes place between London and Paris, and it's like in the 1800s. So I gave that one a 3.5. Yeah. I don't know. Oh, after that, I read Belladonna, which we've talked about, but I gave it 5 stars. But I finished this one like October 1st, so it's still October read.
Yep.
So 5 stars on Belladonna. Don't need to go into detail. Another one which I know the rating very easily that I finally read was Fourth Wing. I feel like we don't even need to talk about any of these books in detail because everybody knows. Of course, this was 5 stars.
Of course, you should read it.
Of course, you should read it. And, you know, by the time this is posted, we'll post this the day before Iron Flame comes out. Okay. Because I think the 7th is Tuesday. So, Iron Flame will come out tomorrow then. Yeah. And then I read A Flicker in the Dark. I felt like this book was a really big letdown.
You think so?
Yeah, I give it a 3.
See, I feel like I liked it. I feel like
I knew right away.
Yeah, me too.
I texted you like halfway through, and I was like,
but are you the kind of person that's like, just because you figure it out?
I felt like I didn't need to finish it.
Okay. See, for me, I'm like, even if I can figure it out who it is, I'm like, if I'm still like just gotta make sure I'm right. You know what
So
I
I
mean?
will say
That's how.
some books, when I figure it out and I get it confirmed by somebody,
Right.
I still feel the need to finish it because the
Right.
storyline is so good.
Yeah.
I felt like this. I did not like the female main character.
Oh, she was annoying.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
she blamed everybody. She
Mhm.
literally pinned this murder
Right.
on every single
She's
male
like, "It was
character
you."
in this book. Every single
Yeah,
character. And that's
true.
why I was like,
Yeah.
I just didn't like her. But
She was paranoid. She was paranoid. Yeah. But
well,
I see, for me, even if it's like an obvious one, I'm like, I still just care about the story. You know what I mean? So that's why I
yeah.
don't read the last
So
page
I guess I
because
didn't really talk anything about this book. So this book is about what is this book about?
her dad's a serial killer.
Yes, her dad is a serial killer and she is a psychiatrist.
I believe so. I can't remember. I read this one months ago.
Okay.
She's something.
She's a psychiatrist, I believe. Anyways, her dad is a serial killer. He's been in jail, and then all of a sudden, you're like fast forward into the future, and dead people start appearing in her life. Not in that aspect of things. Not I see dead people. No, okay. Dead bodies. I don't know. Like a murderer comes back. There you go.
More murder. The string of murders.
They're in essentially the same way that her dad was killing people.
Yeah.
So now she's like trying to figure out who is in her life that's doing this because it's like the same exact patterns. So if that makes no sense, I don't know. Look it up on Goodreads and read the description. I'm not good.
I liked it. I didn't think it was terrible. It's not the best thriller, but I mean, I finished it quickly. And
Would you rate it? Probably a 3.
I think like 3.5 out of 5. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't bad. I finished it very quickly, and that I actually listened to it, and I was like,
I listened
I could
to
listen
it as
to
well.
this all day.
I listened to it when I did have physical copies, so that's why I brought the physical copy out for this. Then I read The Murder Game by Carrie Doyle. I picked this up at Target because I thought the cover was pretty cool. So essentially it's about these kids that are in boarding school, and one of the teacher's wives dies, and they're kind of like all wrapped up in the murder. Like one of the kids' like scarves is found and all of this stuff.
So did the kid do it?
No.
Or is that no?
No.
Are they the ones trying to solve it?
Yeah. So they try to solve it, but the one of the main characters was in not in I'm really bad at explaining books. He was like kidnapped when he was younger and escaped that. So a lot of people in the book are like, "Oh, you've survived," and like they use that as like it's kind of used against him, but not in the same aspect of things when you find out who the actual killer is. But I give this a 3 out of 5. I thought it was pretty good. It was really quick, honestly. It was a quick read. It doesn't look quick, but it was, and it's pretty. I think it's big font, so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So a 3 out of 5 on that one. Then the last physical one I read was This Delicious Death.
Did you like it?
No.
I told you. I was like, I wouldn't read it if I were you.
I think I gave it a 3, but it's probably more like a 2.5 to me.
Yeah.
It was really boring. It kept like putting me to sleep.
I feel like it was like too YA for me. Like
I love YA, but it was very YA.
I don't know a better way to phrase it because obviously like there's YA.
So how would you describe it? It's like these like zombies. So some people are zombies, some people are not zombies, and then they
find a way to live peacefully with the humans.
Yeah.
After they get this infection, they have like synthetic meat, and some friend group goes to like this concert.
Yep. They go to a concert, and then they meet these like it's like a group of girls. Bands. And then they meet these boys at like a hotel.
Yeah.
Which they're actually
zombies.
Yeah. And they're actually like a band. And then they go to the festival. And then like all this stuff starts spiraling. And they have to like figure out exactly who's causing the
problems going on at this concert. Yeah. Because someone's eating people
they
again.
Like, it was like a super
like a rogue zombie.
Yeah. Like a super zombie rogue person. I don't know. It was meh.
It was very meh.
I'm actually really sad because, again,
I got it because of the cover, and I don't get books often.
Yeah. So,
I was disappointed
and then I need to borrow your phone because mine's recording.
Oh yeah.
To do the rest of mine, which were Kindles and Adios. Between the two, so Okay, on my Kindle, I read The Coven by Harper L. Woods. I thought that was pretty good. I read it
Oh, I want
really
to read that
quickly.
one.
Yeah,
I want
I
to
need
read
to read
that.
the second one.
Is
I
that
totally
smutty?
forgot. Yeah,
Yeah, it's smutty.
yeah,
But is it good? I
yeah.
don't know if
I
I
gave it a
like
4.
smut sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I gave
4.
it a 4, but I think mainly because of the storyline.
Okay, I can appreciate a good storyline.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there is a second book which I need to read the second one. I just got so wrapped up in other books, so I didn't read the second one yet, but I really like that one.
If I say, what do I read next? Remind me that one, okay?
Okay. And then I listened to Ward D by Frida McFadden, which I gave a 2 star. I did not. I think this is my least favorite Frida McFadden book that I ever read because it was like right from the start, you know exactly who did it. Like you know what's gonna happen. Um, it was so boring. Like it was so boring. It's about this like doctor who um she's not like a doctor yet. She's like in her residency, I guess. And it's her like floor her like time to go on like the psych ward floor. And like one of her ex best friends, she had committed to the psych ward and she's in the psych ward and then like she goes in the psych ward to like be
Yeah.
the resident doctor and then like her friend is in there. It was just weird. I don't know. It's not even worth explaining. Do not recommend. Wrong way. And then I think these are out of order, but okay, fourth one. Okay, so then I listened to Wildfire, which is the second book in the Maple Hills series by Hannah Grace. So the lady who wrote Icebreaker. I thought I gave it a 3. It's like one of those books where I'm really bad at talking about books. I am sorry.
Well, you have a lot of books to like break
I'm
down,
like
so I feel
my
like
brain.
it could
Okay,
be mentally a
so
lot.
this one is. I'm trying to think of the words, and they're not coming out of my mouth. Interconnected series. You know what I'm talking
Right.
about? So like one of the characters that was in Icebreaker is in this book.
You read Icebreaker?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah. So and then your phone had blocked, so I give that one a 3. I thought it was just man. It was a lot more like they start with the smut immediately in this one.
Okay.
Like right from the get go. So
it's a good smut. Worthy
it's a
smut.
3-star worthy
Okay.
smut. And then I listened to The Wife Upstairs by Frida McFadden. I give this one a 3-star because I thought it was pretty good, but it was literally like Verity
Yeah.
to a freaking T. Like,
That's awkward.
I just want somebody else to read it and be like, oh my god, this lady stole this idea.
I mean, you saw that
Yeah.
on Goodreads. You were
Yeah.
telling me that
Yeah. So
someone was like, she needs to come up with her own story.
yeah. So I mean, it was still interesting. And if you haven't read Verity and you really like Frida books, you would probably really like this book. But I've read Verity, so I was like,
Just too
yeah,
similar.
yeah. And then I read The Bride Test by Helen Huang. I think I say it Ho. I don't know how to say her last name. Sorry. It was the second in the Kiss Quotient series, which I really really liked the first book, which was the Kiss Quotient. So I thought I would really like this one. I gave it a 3. I thought it was pretty cute. I thought it was good, quick, happy read. And then I read Blood Orange, which we already went over. And then I listened to Red Velvet, which is the second in the Blackwood Sellers book series. I don't know. Again, it's like another interconnected series type thing. I thought this one was also kind of cute. It's like not like it's like what is it? Like friends to lovers. There you go. I want to say brother's best friend, but it's not brother's best friend. It's friends to lovers. So that one was pretty cute. I gave it a 4-star. I thought it was really cute. I also liked the first book in that series though. And then I read a little novella, which a couple people that we know said this book was great.
Which one?
Tammy.
No, what book?
Oh, it's called No Place to Hide.
No Place to Hide. Okay.
It is not it. I gave it 1 star.
But we love you anyway, Sammy.
But we love you, Sammy. But this book was not it. Just did not like this book. I don't know. It was quick. It was literally 99 pages. Like, so I read it in like a sitting, like 30 minutes. Okay. But I was like, weird. It is weird. I don't even know how to describe this book. It is just weird.
Yeah.
And then lastly, I just finished Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez, and I gave this like a 4.75. It was so freaking good. And the way that the male main character describes his anxiety and living with his anxiety was so freaking relatable. I was like, holy crap, I am not the only one that feels this way and thinks
Just
this way.
spot
And just
on
like,
the mental illness.
yes, it
I
was
love that.
literally the way that he like over processes like what he's gonna eat or like who he's gonna be around when he eats certain food because he doesn't want his breath to smell, or like just like maps out his day or just like starts spiraling out. And I was like, I do that.
That's familiar.
I was
Yeah.
like, holy moly, moly, moly. That was crazy. So that book was so good. I felt like it was so close to a 5 star for me, but there was a couple parts where the female main character knows, she knows that he suffers with his anxiety. And I feel like she's just a little like hard on him. Like,
Just
or
a biatch?
not really. She just
No.
like he's so in love with her and he's like trying to like his anxiety won't let him like get it out, and she's just like, "Ugh, he doesn't love me," and like
just like not
and then she
understanding
starts
or
to
no
like
grace at all.
yeah, she does have grace, but like she just kind of like pushes him away. And I get it because in the book like she just went through a divorce and like he just got broken up with and his ex is now marrying his brother. So like he's dealing with that, right? So his ex is marrying his brother, and you find out that she's also pregnant. So like he's dealing with that,
Yeah.
and she just got a divorce. So they
Okay.
both have their own stuff going on. So I guess if I like take that into balance, it might be a 5 star. But there was just like parts where I was like, this man is the perfect man.
Yeah.
Why are you pushing him away? But
Right.
it kind of all comes full circle at the end. But this was, it probably was 5. It was so great. It really was great.
Okay, I'm really excited to read
Yeah.
that. I have that
Yeah.
book, so I'm gonna have to try to move that up on my list.
But that was my last book. Yeah, that was
Oh,
my last one. I just
cool.
finished that one on the 29th. So
Yay!
and then I started 2 books. So
All right. Well, I guess we're about ready to jump in for our November reads.
yes, extremely excited. So I really want to read One Dark Window.
Yeah, you need to get to that.
But I'm scared because I need to be able to commit to the first and second book. Is that one going to be a trilogy?
Oh, I have no idea. Not sure.
I'm gonna have to look that up because if it is, I'm just gonna just wait it out. But
might as well. Honestly, why
at
not?
this point,
Because then I'm just gonna be rereading the whole series if another book does come out. But
exactly. Yeah.
It's a good book, so I won't mind.
But yeah.
I think that's all that I had for this.
That's it for us. So
Yeah.
that was our October reading wrap up. I read 15 and you read
11.
11. So it's $26.
Pretty
So
good.
let us know if you read any of these books down in the comments below. What your ratings, if we're wrong. Somebody tell me if I should finish this Final Girl Support Group book because I don't know.
Struggling.
Yeah, I might just
my
I might just pick it up next October.
There you go.
There you go.
You're not finishing it. You're just saving for another
I'm just
time.
waiting for a rainy day. No, yeah. So let us know your thoughts on these books or which ones you're putting on your TBR, and we can't wait to hear from you.
And don't forget to like and subscribe, and definitely be giving us some feedback because we'd love to hear from you. Bye.
Bye.